Thank you, Annette. Good evening and welcome to BET Tonight. I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, glad that you're with us. We'll get to your phone calls, and I'm sure there will be many in just a moment. Tonight, I have the distinct pleasure of being joined by three lovely performers. Each of these performers have helped define today's classic sound, certainly today's classic female sound here in Washington, joined by our friend Dionne Warwick, most famous for tunes like Walk On By and I'll Never Fall in Love Again. I heard that song on the radio on the way in tonight. We also have Shanice, a talented young lady whose hits include I Love Your Smile and When I Close My Eyes, and I love that song, Shanice, from her self-titled release. And Be a Sad Life from L.A., I'm mad because she ain't here with me. Nancy Wilson, a legend, countless R&B jazz albums to her credit. You recall as well her recurring role on The Cosby Show. We are glad to have all of you with us. Thanks for coming by to see us.
Nice to be here.
I was saying, Dionne, first of all, can I call you Dionne?
Absolutely.
I feel so out of place calling you and Nancy Wilson by your first name. But I was saying on the way into the studio tonight, I was in the car, and the song I'll Never Fall in Love Again came on the radio. And I got all excited because here I am coming to meet you and to see you. And I was wondering whether or not, after all these years, when you hear one of your songs on the radio in the car, it just happens to come on some radio station, you still feel anything?
Absolutely. It's still very exciting. I mean, you must understand that I am a recording artist first. And it's always wonderful when you know that you're appreciated by people playing your music. Yeah, I still feel good about that.
Nancy Wilson, I'm tempted to call you a diva because in many people's minds that's what you are, but I am told that you don't like the word diva. Is that true?
Not if you're just going to change what it means. When I think of diva, it is not necessarily a pleasant connotation. Diva is not always something that is good. I happen to feel that Dionne and I are, because of the longevity, you can say legend if you choose. I remember the first time I saw that, it was like a shock. But diva is not something that I'm thrilled about being called, no, because I don't find it to be anything pleasant. It's to me, it's when you used to think in terms of the word diva, it was about Maria Callas and people who were basically people who had temper tantrums. They were people who were prima donnas. I don't think Dionne or I have ever been that way. We are just basically nice people who sing. And who try to give you the essence of who we are. But I don't think diva is what we want to be.
Well, far be it from me to offend Nancy Wilson, so I'll call you a legend. I'll call you the legend and not the diva. Shanice, how are you?
Thank you.
Great.
It is so nice to see you. Thanks for coming to talk to us.
Thanks for having me on the show.
My pleasure.
To be here with Dionne and Nancy is like, whoo, it's an honor.
You know how I feel here. I wonder how many times you've been confused as Nancy Wilson's daughter because of that last name.
What? On the way here, the driver asked me, are you related to Nancy Wilson? Everyone thinks she's my aunt.
Yeah. That's very true. They do.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, baby.
Let me ask you, as your music is maturing in the most wonderful way. I live in L.A., and one of the things I regret, I have a picture of us when I was a little younger too, when you were just a kid just getting started out in Los Angeles. And I wanted to bring it to show it to you tonight. And I left it there, but I was thinking that over the years your music has matured so wonderfully, your sound even.
Thank you.
Not that you didn't always have some pipes, but your sound has matured wonderfully. And I'm wondering whether or not as your music matures, are you fearful at all that your audience won't grow with you, that they won't go with you, or do you think you have to find a new audience given this sound that has matured so much over the years?
I think so far, it seems like the audience is kind of moving along with me, you know, thank God. On my last album, I think that it was hard for people to accept me as a woman on the last album because they wanted to keep me the little girl, like, I love your smile, real bubbly and happy. And I had problems on the last album with that, but this time it's been good. And the album is more mature because I'm maturing. So
we will talk to the legends and a mature young lady named Shanice in just a moment. Your phone call straight ahead. I know you want to talk to them, and so we'll try to squeeze as many calls tonight in as we can. I won't be too selfish. We'll try to let you talk to them as well. And we'll do all that right after we check in with Cheryl Martin for a brief look at tonight's top news headlines. Good evening, Cheryl.
Good evening, Tavis. Thank you, and good evening, everyone. African Americans are not paying their bills on time, and it's ruining their future. Freddie Mac released a study today that shows 47% of blacks have bad credit compared to 27% of whites. The report shows one reason for the higher rate among blacks is that they are less likely than whites to have resources to fall back on when they get in financial trouble. The mortgage lender says poor credit is one of the main reasons people are denied loans when they try to buy a house.
The result has been significantly lower homeownership rates for African Americans and for other minorities. We want to close that gap. One important way, we think, is to help consumers better understand credit and improve their own credit records.
72% of whites own their homes compared to 47% of blacks. Freddie Mac is teaming with 5 historically black colleges and universities to develop a curriculum to teach young people the importance of maintaining good credit. The NAACP and the National Urban League will also help get the message out to black consumers. In other news, the Commerce Department says the 21st century will be ideal for minority entrepreneurs. A census study shows minorities will fuel almost all of America's population growth in the next 50 years. By 2050, African Americans will represent 15% of the population, up from the current 13%. Hispanics will increase from 9% to 22%, and Asian Americans will rise from 4% to 9%. Researchers say all of this adds up to more opportunities for minority-owned businesses. In Atlanta, investigators are looking into possible jury tampering in the theft case against Ralph Abernathy III. The case ended with a hung jury. The trial judge has asked investigators to look into an encounter between jurors and a group of civil rights leaders. That group included Coretta Scott King, the Reverend Al Sharpton, State Representative Tyrone Brooks, and Abernathy's mother. The jurors apparently ran into the group as they were going to lunch. Abernathy's mother says the encounter was an accident, and the jury foreman says it had little bearing on the outcome of the case. Here in Washington, lawyers say nearly 15,000 black farmers have applied for their share of a multi-billion-dollar government settlement. In recent years, the farmers have brought their complaints of discrimination to the streets of the nation's capital. The settlement was designed to compensate the farmers for being shut out of loan programs, disaster aid, and other benefits managed by the Agriculture Department. New Jersey Governor Christine Todd Whitman has named Carson Dunbar to head the state police. If approved by the state Senate, Dunbar would be the first African American to hold the post. New Jersey state troopers have been criticized in recent months for using race to stop motorists. And finally, Hurricane Gert caused heavy damage in Bermuda today. The storm toppled walls of seaside houses, uprooted trees, and caused widespread power outages. Those are some stories making headlines. We'll have more news later, but coming up after the break, Tavis, Dionne, Warwick, Nancy Wilson, and Shanice take your phone calls. Stay with us.
Betty and Pat here, the Reynolds Kitchen's home economist, with a delicious meal idea that's quick and easy. Made with, on gas, fresh vegetables. Start with Reynolds Wrap heavy-duty aluminum foil.
Fold it around fresh vegetables, seasonings,
And 2 ice cubes.
to make a packet that steams in the nutrients and crisp flavor.
And no cleanup.
So I have time for gardening. Reynolds Quick and Easy Packet Cooking makes good food better.
Don't even think about it.
What's up, Glow Boy? You need to make a call. Nah, you don't need any change. Just dial 1-800-COLLECT. Yeah, 1-800-COLLECT. You can save $1 or $2. Go ahead, try it. Don't mention it. Just tell all your buddies. Tourists. 1-800-COLLECT. Save $1 or $2.
Welcome back. You got to admit, it sounds as good today as it did when they recorded it some 14 years ago. Welcome back to BET Tonight. I'm Tavis Smiley. Glad you're with us. Our subject tonight, classic female sounds, and we're delighted to be joined by some folk who've done just that, put some classic stuff out over the years. Dionne Warwick, most famous for tunes like Walk On By and I'll Never Fall in Love Again. Also, Shanice, talented young lady, a maturing young lady, whose hits include I Love Your Smile, Indeed I Do, Shanice, and When I Close My Eyes, from a self-titled release. Via satellite from L.A., the incomparable Nancy Wilson. Countless R&B jazz albums to her credit, and as we said earlier, some of y'all know her, a whole new generation, from The Cosby Show, where she had that recurring role, and we're glad that all three of them had time to come talk to us tonight. We were talking earlier, Shanice, about the fact that over the years your music has matured, and I wonder whether or not you are, since you are a part of this generation, bothered at all, and we'll get Dionne and Nancy to comment on this comment in a moment. I wonder whether or not you are bothered at all by the almost demand these days to sell your music with like sex appeal mixed up with it. It's like very difficult these days to see young artists who are selling music based upon the sound, based upon the talent. If there isn't a bunch of sex appeal mixed in with it, a lot of folk have a hard time making those album sales go to the top of the charts. And your thoughts about that are what?
Well, as far as like trying to sell my body to sell records, I will never take it that far. And I just think, I mean, look at Lauryn Hill. She didn't sell out.
Absolutely.
And she's like, I mean, she's selling millions. So you don't have to sell your body to sell records. You know, you don't have to use your body. Sorry. And I think as long as you're putting out good music, and I think you can continue to make it. And you have to just put God first before everything, and it'll be all right.
Shanice's mother, Dionne, held her in good stead. And I think those who've watched her career grow know the influence that her mother at a very young age had on her career back when Ella Fitzgerald was still living, and she had a chance to work with Ella. Her mother was always there and held her in good stead. But as you well know, Dionne, there are a lot of folk who are, let's face it, sex sells. We use everything. I mean, everything. We were talking last night about age on this program, but indeed, we market love, we market sex, and sex sells everything. And indeed, in the music industry, it is a pretty powerful seller. What are your thoughts about that?
It's unfortunate that I put the blame first, if there is to be a blame at all, upon our record companies. The responsibility that they should have, they're really relegating it to nothing. It's like air. When you wave that kind of dollar bill in front of these youngsters who had not had an opportunity to really grow, to become young people who have had guidance and care, it's very, very difficult to say no to those kinds of dollars. And you're basically at the whim of that executive who says, okay, you got to take the top off, or you got to put the skirt up to here, and you've got to say certain words, and you've got to do certain things. It's nowhere near what Nancy and I have experienced over the years. We were very, very fortunate to have entered the industry at the time that we did, where the song was paramount and the presentation was as important, not only to the buyer, the consumer, but to the person exponing this.
Nancy Wilson, as a legend, I want to get your thoughts on this, but I mean, for all of our conjecture, quite frankly, it's working, and it is selling albums. And so, how do you argue with a formula that works as well as, whether we like it or not? How do you argue with a formula that's working as well as it is, with all due respect to the careers that you and Dionne have put forward?
I have to be real honest and listen to what Shanice said. If I put God first, I will not take my clothes off. And I don't really care how well it's selling. The important thing to me is that I keep my integrity and my dignity, which I cannot do if I am selling things that have nothing to do with the music. It really is about record industries. It's about directors and producers of videos who are more honest. Love has nothing to do with what I'm seeing on these videos. This is not about love. This is about really, we're just truly exploiting our kids, our young people. We are not dealing with reality. We're dealing with just the bottom. We're just going to the worst part of ourselves is what I'm seeing. And I do believe that there are those of us who choose to record. They won't even allow, we can't even video what we do.
That's right.
So let's be honest about this. We are still making the wonderful and beautiful music, and there are people who do sing it And there are those who would like to record it and who do put it on record, but you'll not see it on video.
I mentioned Nancy a moment ago, obviously. I mentioned sex. You mentioned love. I don't know what that means, but let me, I think there's a message in there, and I'm afraid to ask what it is. Let me follow up on your use of the word love, though. I wonder, and I wanted to ask anyway, so let me do it now, of all three of you. I'll start with you, Nancy. I wonder, speaking of love, what, in fact, you look for in a love song?
I'm looking for truth and reality. I'm looking for relationship. I'm not looking to just say, baby, let's get it on, or let's just take my... And that is not what I'm about, nor what our generation was about. And I'm certain that you won't find anybody in my life who ever said, don't you think that if you did it this way, it would? I hear Dionne chuckling. Oh, I mean, just the thought of that. I mean, it just would not occur. And I'm grateful. If there's anything that I'm happy about, is that I'm not trying to do it today, becoming established today. I am so grateful that what I have done stands the test of time. I do not believe that anything that is being done today will, and that's a loud statement I'm making. Some of the lyrics will, but I don't believe that what we're doing visually, we're just selling ourselves so short.
Let me jump in and take a break. There are two things I want to do immediately when we come back. One is, well, three things. One, I want to get your phone calls in. I promised I wouldn't be too selfish. Secondly, I want to get Shanice and Dionne's response to this question on what they look for in a love song. And thirdly, I want to pick up on the comment, I think the rather provocative comment that Nancy Wilson just makes, that a lot of today's stuff will not stand the test of time. She said it, I didn't. We'll follow up on it in just a moment. You're watching BET Tonight. Your phone call straight ahead. Stay with us. For those who are ebonically challenged, that's what you call singing. That's what you call singing. Work it out, Nancy Wilson. You just work it out, girl.
Thank you.
I am delighted to have all of you. Delighted to have you all with us. We were talking before the break, and I got to get some phone calls. Folks are standing by and dying to talk to y'all. Shanice, what do you look for in a love song?
In a love song, like we were talking about during the break, just, you know, honesty, just sensitivity. Like, I love sensitive lyrics and sensitive melodies, and that's why I'm a big fan of Babyface. I think he is a king at love songs. So that's pretty much what I look for.
A writer sends you something, Dionne Warwick, you look at it, you listen to it, you know it works, it doesn't work, based upon what?
Something that basically is, if I would say it, or if I've heard it said, if I've been in the company of those that have experienced it, a beginning, a middle, and an end. A true story. That's basically it.
Nancy Wilson, before the break, we'll get everybody's comments on this. You said that you believe that a lot of the stuff that is being produced today, a lot of the stuff that we are hearing today, and I concur with you, for what it's worth.
Yes.
But I think a lot of what you said, rather, that a lot of what we're hearing today, you don't think is going to stand the test of time. Let me ask you to extrapolate on that a little bit.
All right. I am 62 years old, and I remember hearing, and I'm not alone, and lyrics that Louis Jordan sang, Louis Armstrong sang, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald. There are so many of a generation of people who are 30, 40, even 50, 60, who know these people, who know the songs. How many people know Cole Porter, George Gershwin, Frank Lesser? Shanice mentioned Babyface, and we were here in the studio on the break talking about it. Music is so selfish these days. Dionne and I have talked about this. I would like for one of her sons or my daughter to write us a song, and all of us record it and release it at the same time. The music has become so selfish. All of us used to record a great song.
That's right.
So I'm being led to believe that there are not a lot of great songs being written because not all the great singers are singing them.
Dionne, when you hear your friend Nancy Wilson say that music today is selfish, you understand what she means by that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Basically, exactly what you just said. There are, how many people have recorded the greatest? How many people have recorded, I Want to Dance with Somebody? or any of the other songs that are being recorded by our babies. You know,
a good song is something that can be covered over
Absolutely.
and over
I mean,
and over.
there was not a time that you didn't hear Dinah Washington, Lena Horne, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and Nat King Cole, and Perry Como, Peggy Lee, and Johnny Mathis, all singing the same song.
Because the song was great.
Recorded one after the other, and all of them hits. But it's not happening today that way.
You know, one thing that really bothers me is that nowadays, and I'm sure it wasn't like that when you guys first started, but it's so competitive now. Everyone's just like trying to outdo each other, and I hate. That's one thing that I can honestly say that I hate about the business. And sometimes I hate it to the point where sometimes I don't even want to be. It takes the fun away.
Not
from
enough camaraderie.
I don't even enjoy it sometimes because of that.
Let's take some phone calls. We'll start with Tanya in Texas. Tanya, thanks for holding you on the air, and I'm glad you called.
I have two comments. One, I like all the ladies that are there, but I have one special comment for Nancy Wilson. I'm only 24 years old, and I've always wanted to sing. But, Nancy, I really love your songs. I like the way you carry yourself, and I always held that high when I think of myself. And
Thank you.
The comment about music standing the test of time. My favorite songs, I did a show, and I did it with one of your songs. So when you talk about music standing the test of time, you said, time has a way of bringing on a change. So music has a way of bringing on a change with time, and I salute you with that because I love you.
Thank you.
Tanya in
That's
Texas.
so sweet. Thank you very much, Tanya.
We thank you for your phone call. Only on BET can get a live audition. On the air.
I love it. I love it.
I ain't mad at you, girl.
Okay.
QCO in California. Thanks for calling. You on the air.
How you doing, ladies?
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? I love all three of you, but my question is for, I know she knows who I am. This is for Shanice.
Who is this?
It's a couple of quick questions, honestly.
Okay.
First of all, what's your next single? Also, when are you going to be out here in California, maybe the House of Blues? And last, since I know that your people is listening, like your mom, your record company, when are y'all going to put something together like for HBO or pay-per-view, like your recent concert tour dates and maybe your last album concert tour dates, you know, splash something together like that for a couple of hours? What do you think maybe that's possible?
That's a great idea. I would love to do something like that. And what was your first question, though? Oh, what's the next single?
Yeah, the next single.
Well, we're gearing towards Fly Away. It's a song that Babyface produced along with a producer named Lainey Stewart. So we're going to actually shoot a video in about 2 weeks on that.
You mentioned earlier your affection for Babyface, and I think we all have to stand back and respect the work that this brother does. But what did you find most rewarding about the opportunity to work with Babyface?
That he's just a great person. Like, at first, I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the Babyface. He's the biggest producer in the world. And then when you meet him, he's just like everyone else. He's just real down to earth. He's real pleasant, and he's very easy to work with. You know, and when I was singing, he allowed me to, you know, be myself. Like, he wasn't telling me, well, you have to sing it like this. And, you know, he gave me the freedom.
Babyface, just like everybody else, with a whole lot more talent. We'll take a break and come back and continue our conversation in a moment. Stay with us.
Hi, Mom. 4 o'clock? Great. Love you, too.
Bounty's not your ordinary paper towel. It has the durability to handle even life's toughest messes.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, sweet. Oh, my. What happened?
The quilted tough picker-upper. Bounty.
Welcome back to the program. When was you ever been to a concert? You paid this high ticket price. You were dying to go. You're all geared up and excited. You get there, and the folk who you went to see were not half as good in person as they sounded on that CD, and you wanted your money back. There are a few people who sound as good in person as they sound on the record, and Shanice is one of them, and we're glad to have her with us.
Thank you.
A quick word about tomorrow night's program before we get back to this conversation. Join us tomorrow night for a conversation with hip-hop humanitarians. It seems the media is always full of negative stories about rappers and those involved in the hip-hop industry, but our guests tomorrow night are finding a way to give back and doing something positive for the community. Joined tomorrow night by DMX, KRS-One, and Sister Soldier, hip-hop humanitarians tomorrow night here on this program. at 11 Eastern. I warned you in advance, not that you really, not that it's that big a deal, but I'm away tomorrow night. I'm headed to the Vatican. We have been granted a private audience with the Pope. And so we're leaving tomorrow to go to the Vatican to talk to the Pope. Hope to bring you part of our conversation with him in a couple of weeks around here. But tomorrow night, a familiar face has agreed to sit in for tomorrow night and for that matter, on Thursday as well. Thursday night, an exclusive conversation with the Attorney General, Janet Reno. And tomorrow and Thursday, our friend Ed Gordon. Remember Ed? If I had a dime for every time I've been asked whatever happened to Ed Gordon, I'd be a millionaire. Tomorrow night, you can see Ed Gordon live and in living color here on BET Tonight as he sits in tomorrow and Thursday. Again, tomorrow night, Hip Hop Humanitarians. Thursday night, Janet Reno. Hopefully you'll be around both nights for those conversations. Tonight, though, I get to leave at least on a high note with, speaking of notes, sisters who are awfully talented with regard to what they do.
Oh, Tavis, I like that.
What can I tell you? I work hard at this, Nancy, work hard at it. I want to go back to some phone calls in just a moment, but one of the things, Nancy, I've always wanted to ask you, if you ask 10 or 15 critics, music critics, to describe Nancy Wilson's style, as you well know, you get 10 or 15 different responses.
Exactly.
And I've always wanted to ask, how do you describe Nancy Wilson's style?
I'm a song stylist. That's basically what it's about. I've never wanted to be in a box. I do sing pop, I sing jazz, I sing R&B, I sing songs, I sing melodies, I tell stories. And that's basically what it's about. It isn't about a category. We've been blessed to have decent, wonderful lyrics, great songs to sing. It's about telling stories.
Dionne, over the years, you've seen this industry change in 1,001 different ways, I am certain. I'm putting you on the spot here, but I know you can handle this.
Sure.
Tell me, just give me one example each of how you think the industry has changed for the worse. But because I want to be fair and balanced, how do you think the industry has changed for the better, if you have one of those?
Wow.
After all these years of doing what you do.
Oh, my. You want to take this, Nancy?
Handle this one.
You want to think about that?
Yeah.
I'm going to be nice to Dionne Ward.
Thank you.
I'm going to let her think about that. And
I can answer it a little bit.
You go ahead.
I think that back in the day, that it was all about your talent. Nowadays, it's not about your talent is like that means that
minuscule.
much, you know. And,
the presentation.
Yeah. So and it's about who you know.
Right.
You know, and
that's true.
Yeah.
I guess in a sense, and she really hit the nail right on the head. It was about us going into a studio. There were live musicians sitting up in there, and there were songs that we had to sing that were great songs. That is really, I think, the worst part of what's happened to the industry is that machinery has taken the place of man.
Yes.
And the fact that we're wondering about the ability and the talent of our so-called musicians of today, based on the fact that every 5 minutes you're hearing a sample of somebody else's stuff. So if you have to sample somebody else's thing, where is your talent? You know,
you know a good sample when you hear one.
Yeah, right.
That's the talent. You know a good riff when you hear one. That's my talent.
But that's mine.
Yeah.
It ain't yours. You know what I'm saying? So if you have talent, and if you're going to really build a reputation by saying, I'm talented, and I can do this, and I can do that, show me your talent.
Yeah.
Don't take mine.
Nancy Wilson, one could make the argument, and I got to get a couple calls in here right quick. One could make the argument that one of the reasons why we are not developing the musical gifts that many of our young kids have today has to do with the fact that they have no outlets anymore. We don't teach music in schools anymore. I mean, I wonder where a young child, other than the church, which has always been there for all of you and hopefully will be there for time eternal, I wonder, though, where a young, talented African-American kid gets a chance to work out his or her gift in the music field.
The largest problem I find for the raw talent is the fact that there's no place to hone your craft. There's no place to learn. There's no place to perform.
Right.
But I really have to just take my little pot shot at the radio industry. There was a time when I could hear I could hear classical, I could hear R&B. I don't think that we're being very fair today. Everything is about a few records. There is country, granted. I remember a time when it was very difficult to hear country. So I do know that everything has its cycle.
Right.
But I do believe that in the past we allowed everything a place. At least we you could hear everything you wanted to hear. You can't do that today.
Right.
I also need to talk to those who control the money in their family. For every $20 that my children spent, I tried to spend 20 on things I liked.
Right.
So as an older adult, I still purchase what I like, as opposed to allowing 13-year-olds to control the industry, which is something that we do. We do favor certain, you know, I understand what the bottom line is, but by the same token, I also have a responsibility to mention and to say that I need to go out and purchase what I like, as opposed to allowing these kids to control my life.
Point well taken. Let me squeeze in Debbie in Pennsylvania. Debbie, thanks for holding you on the air. Glad you called.
Hi, Tavis. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi. I have a comment. I just want to tell you that I watch your show every week, and I love it.
Thank you.
You have a lot of great issues coming up. And Miss Warwick, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you do any blues albums, and do you think that the blues music has been diminished or something of the past?
I've not done anything that is quote-unquote called blues. I've sung it on different occasions when the occasion arose. I think that there is not really a diminish of blues, because thank God for B.B. King. And thank God for people like Eric Clapton, who wants to be B.B. King. So,
does a good job of it, though.
You know what
He's
I'm
awfully
saying?
talented.
So blues will be around as long as we have our pop artists imitating or emulating those who are the greats of blues.
Debbie, I think, let me add right quick before I go to this next call, Derek in Missouri. I think that it's not even so much a question of blues disappearing as it is a question of who is embracing the blues. And we are not embracing it as we should. At least it seems that way to me. Derek in Missouri, thanks for holding. Derek, you're on the air. Glad you called.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Really, my girl, I've been a fan of yours since '87.
Thank you.
Let me be the first to tell you that I don't think that you get the full props that you deserve as long as you've been out. Out of 4 singers, you have the best background vocals that I have ever heard.
Thank you.
I'm a singer myself. I wrote to your management company. I didn't get an answer back, but let me ask you this.
You didn't, or you did?
I'm sorry?
You say you did.
You did, great.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Do you and your mother have any plans on working or developing with like new artists? Because I'm interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, my dream is to start my own record label. I would love to, bring up, new acts, and that's what I want to do. Right now, my focus right now is to try to get my career going, because I'm still not where I want to be with my own career. So I'm still like.
Where do you want it to be?
Well,
You want everything to be triple platinum.
Yeah, like, I want the album to sell quadruple platinum, and I want to, one day win an award. I was nominated for a Grammy.
Right.
I've never, I've never won any awards, and I would like to.
Well, touch Dionne and touch this screen right here with Nancy Wilson, and maybe it'll rub off a little bit. I got to run here. Let me give 15 seconds each. I guess the question is, give me reason, if you can find one, Nancy, for us to be hopeful about this business.
Because we have great voices, and what I would like those voices to say is that I am, and they need to be more true to themselves. That's the only thing I can think of. Those people who are, we need to deal with the artists and repertoire. A&R is missing. So we need to have people who care about the artist as opposed to caring only about the money.
And the other legend, we'll give you the last word, Dionne Warwick.
Basically, I think it's if we look at music the way it is, it's always been a pendulum. It always swings up.
Yes,
and it has to come back again. All the ears that are listening to what we call da-da-da-da-da are going to grow up. And as they grow, their music has to grow too, which means that they got to come to me. You know what I mean?
All right. You got to check out some Dionne and Nancy.